Hi, my name's Nicole, and this is World on Fire, the show where I read climate news so you don't have to. Last week was ADIPEC, and no, I'm not talking about the Association for Desperately Investigating Permanent Erection Condition. Seriously, guys, if it's been over 4 hours, go to the hospital. No, this was the Abu Dhabi International Progressive Energy Congress, attended by oil companies from around the world. The Met Gala for fossil fuel polluters, the Emmys for cartoon villains, homecoming for evil guys who suck ass, the royal wedding of carbon and dioxide. This was a meeting where a bunch of heads of oil companies got together to discuss the huge changes we need to make to address the climate crisis and saying, we're not doing that. One attendee was Tengku Muhammad Taufik, the president of Malaysia's state energy firm, seen here watching hotel staff take away the continental breakfast and all that's left are those loose, wet eggs. Taufik spoke at an ADIPEC panel saying, I'm reminded of an old saying, if you want to keep everyone happy, sell ice cream. We are not in the business of selling ice cream. And I'm reminded there are people who are lactose intolerant. I mean, okay. Who are the lactose intolerant people in this analogy? Are there people who are allergic to no oil? It's also ridiculous to say we can't make everyone happy, so we may as well use all this oil, because you can actually make a lot of people happy by not using as much oil and also by buying us ice cream. It really is that simple. Though, to be fair, there are actually lactose intolerant people in the world, and so we need to keep drilling all this oil. When he puts it like that, it makes total sense. His comments may not have totally made sense, but they were at least on theme. Another attendee of the conference was Secretary General of OPEC and guy emerging from a black hole to eavesdrop on two people breaking up, Haitham Al-Khais. He was asked about countries who are walking back their climate plans, like in the UK where they pushed back their ban on new diesel cars to 2035. And Al-Khais thinks this national cowardice totally makes sense. He said, I hope they are not U-turns as much as they are a recognition and the realization that some of the policies may have been a bit overzealous. The timelines, the deadlines, the time constraints, the idea that we would ever actually commit to any of them, all totally unrealistic. You get it. Of course, these guys weren't the only ones at this conference. There were a ton of fossil fuel shills there, and I know normally it's not nice to make fun of someone's appearance, but these are bad people, so here we go. There was Shell CEO Wael Sawan, seen here remembering he forgot to cancel his free trial of AMC Plus before getting automatically billed. Murray Auchincloss, interim CEO of BP, and guy whose eyes seem way too far down on his face. Is he okay? Like, look what happens if we move his eyes up just a little bit. That looks more normal, right? Patrick Pouyanné, CEO of France's Total Energies and guy whose actual LinkedIn photo looks like a beautiful 3D rendering of a man. And Occidental Petroleum president and woman just oozing vice principal energy, Vicky Holub. For her part, Holub was optimistic. She said, I don't see where we are today as something that's going to end our industry, although there are some out there who want it to go away. It's me. Hi. I'm the some out there that want it to go away. She added, the biggest challenge that is harder to address than even the innovation around technology is just getting people to trust our industry again and to understand what the data really says. And I don't know why people won't trust us. Sure, we ruined the planet one time, but come on, give us another chance, baby. Stop acting crazy. But okay, Vicky Holub, I'll take you at your word. Let's take a look at what the data really says. First of all, the data says that the last 8 years were the hottest on record, and that each of the past 4 decades has been warmer than the one that preceded it. The temperature data matches up pretty close with the CO2 data, which you can see in this graph, or data visualization, if you will. And according to even more data from PricewaterhouseCoopers, who you know you can trust because they're the guys who hold the freaking Oscar envelopes, the oil and gas industry accounts for 45% of anthropogenic greenhouse gas emissions. So basically, Vicky Holub was like, we have to look at the data, and the data was like, bitch, we own you. Also, those PricewaterhouseCoopers guys published that data in something called Oil and Gas Middle East. So the data in a publication designed to make your industry look good still says you're emitting way too much. That's like Russell Brand's publicist being like, I mean, I don't want to be alone with him. But Vicky Holub is in luck because there is some new data to be optimistic about. A new report from the International Energy Agency lays out a pathway for you, oil companies, to drastically reduce your emissions. If you guys follow the plan in their net zero emissions by 2050 scenario, the emissions intensity of your activities falls by 50% by the end of the decade. We can only hope that the popularity of ballet flats falls at the same rate. Please, as a millennial, on behalf of your feet, I'm begging you, throw them away. And oil companies, according to the IEA, you can do this all for the low, low price of $600 billion. A fraction of the record windfall income that oil and gas producers accrued in 2022. Windfall income because they made a lot of money, not because they used wind power to do it. That would be ridiculous. Oh, and by the way, the International Energy Agency was originally founded to ensure the security of oil supplies. So even the oil people are like, boy, we made a lot of money. Boy, the rich really do keep getting richer while the poor get poorer, huh? And another thing, The rent is too damn high. Thank you, oil and gas comrades. You know it's serious when even the International Energy Agency is accepting moving away from fossil fuel. The IEA has 5 suggested steps to get the industry on track, some of which are more technologically realistic than others, but they are all things that oil companies could urgently pursue if they wanted to convince us that they're actually serious about the climate. I'm not going to hold my breath that oil companies are going to do the right thing, although maybe I should, because then at least I'll be emitting less CO2. But it's actually good when places like the IEA lay out these frameworks for exactly how oil companies can rein in their emissions and why it's important. Because then we can see just how disingenuous they're being when they spend all weekend walking back their decarbonization pledges at a conference whose actual slogan is decarbonizing faster together. An oil conference committing to decarbonizing is a little bit like the Kardashians committing to no more drama, but that's where all your money comes from. That's like a Nike conference with the slogan, actually, don't do it. If you want to get involved with climate action, I put some links in the description, and if you want me to help keep you updated about climate news, please hit like and subscribe below. Of course, I understand that not everyone wants to subscribe because you're lactose intolerant or something. Sound off in the comments if you're lactose intolerant.